Hey guys, welcome to Khong Driving. This is the all-new Honda CR-V. Okay, what you see here is actually, this is the RS and this is the EHEV hybrid. There are actually 4 variants available. This is actually the flagship model and this is the RS EHEV, but unfortunately, it is not available until next year, and I heard it's like the first quarter. The available units are actually 3 variants and they have the 1.5 litre turbocharged engine. It's a carry over from the previous Honda CR-V, and that will give you 193 PS and also 243 Newton meters of torque. Drive is either to the front wheels or all-wheel drive, and the transmission is CVT as usual. Now for the RS, you get a new engine which is a 2 litre engine and is about 140 plus horsepower, 148 PS, and it is carried over from the Honda Civic RS EHEV, if you remember that one. And for this one, the system is a little bit more sophisticated than the previous one. For the Civic, you get the motor doing most of the driving and the engine cuts in when the car is on what you call cruising mode. For this one, the engine cuts it a little bit more often. So in like low speed driving and all, sometimes the engine cuts in to assist with the driving. So it is a more advanced system than in the Civic. So this is better. Now, if you are looking at the RS, I'm sure you want to see what it looks like, right? So let's take a quick walk around so you get an idea of what we are looking at. Okay, look at the front here. So this is the new nose, and you can see that it's a much straighter front, and we saw this in the HR-V, which was launched I think last year, maybe a year ago, I don't know. And then the latest one is the WR-V. So if you look at the front here, it's very similar. So is this the new face of Honda? Well, some people may not like it, but I think it looks great, right? It's lovely. And along the sides, if you look at the size, you'll find that it's actually bigger. So it seems to me that, well, the CR-V is Honda's top seller, and there is a trend towards bigger SUVs, and it looks like this is the way they're going, because this car is longer and wider, and actually it's just a little bit taller. So Honda is moving towards the bigger size of SUVs, and if you look at the features later, you'll find that they're actually becoming more premium. So if you look at this vehicle, look at the tires. This one has 18-inch. One of the lowest variants has 17. But these are 18-inch wheels, and you look at the profile, these are very high profile tires. This is 235/60 R18. So these are cushion tires. So I can tell you from here, they meant this car to be comfortable. Okay, so it's not a sports vehicle, because if you want a sports vehicle, you go and buy the Honda Civic lah. Okay, so let's look along the sides. It's very nice and clean. No funny shapes, you know, to make it look funky. Just straight and clean. No nonsense looks. And at the back, you see, of course, the Honda characteristic rear end with these lights to accentuate the tail, and it now looks not so bulky. It doesn't look bulky, but it's actually a bigger vehicle. You also get an electric boot that works quite well, and the boot is actually bigger, and what I understand is there is about 580 odd liters of boot space. available, and of course you get electric boot. Okay, let's have a look at the engine now. Okay, so what would you like to see? Of course, you want to see the engine lah. All right, in the other rooms, they have the 1.5 liter turbo, which we don't have a slot to see. And what you see here is the 2 liter version. And this is an Atkinson cycle engine. It charges, its main job is to charge the batteries and let the motor do the driving. So according to the way people build electric cars now and hybrids, so the way people build hybrid cars now is they want the motor to do the driving. Because in the conventional hybrid system where you have the motor and the engine driving the car together, now everybody knows that the motor actually has more acceleration. And actually when you are having the two drive the car together, the engine is actually like a little girl hanging onto your legs while you're trying to run. So that's why nowadays the new hybrid systems have just the motor driving. So that's why when you look at the power numbers for this car, you see 335 Newton meters of torque. The engine itself has about 100 or 90 something Newton meters of torque, but they never talk about it because the main drive for this engine, or rather the main drive for this vehicle, is the motor. So I asked the question to the large project leader previously, and I said, what happens when you are running on the engine and then you accelerate? So what he told me is the moment you accelerate, the engine will cut off, the motor will take over, so you get the full power of the motor. That is why the 335 Newton meters of torque works. Yeah. For the hybrid RS EHEV model, only the front wheels are driven. For the 1.5 liter turbo, you have the option of either front wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Yeah. So for the non-hybrid version, they have the S spec, which is very basic. Then they have the E and the V. So the V will have all-wheel drive version. All right. So if you need to go into very slippery terrain or you need to go the occasional off-road, the V would be what you're looking for. The E would be the middle of the road, and for those who want just the CR-V and don't worry so much about the specs, then they will go for the S. But for your information, all the goodies that they talk about in the leaflet is in the hybrid version. Okay? Okay, so now that we have seen the engine, let's look at the sides and look at the suspension. So as I know, we have McPherson struts in the front and a multi-link arrangement at the back. So that means basically the suspension layout is good or conducive to good handling. So as I said earlier, the 18-inch wheels with the high-profile 60 series tires will give you comfortable ride. And what I see here is these are ventilated discs, and oh, looks like a 2-pot caliper. Yes, so now with a bigger vehicle, they have a 2-pot floating caliper to give you better braking. Now let's have a look at the back. Okay, at the back is still a solid disc and a much bigger single pot floating caliper, and the suspension looks like, yes, it is a multi-link. So now that we have seen the external part and the engine and the suspension, let's have a look inside. Okay, let's take a look at the inside of the vehicle, and before I get in, let's look at these lovely leather seats, and it is powered. So this is the contribution to the premiumness, and I checked before, the passenger seat is also a power seat. So this looks like one of the first that I've seen in Honda, or it's very rare, but it's a move in the correct direction. So these seats are semi-bucket and it looks like it can hold you very well. So that's one thing. So this is the premiumness that is being carried to the next level, and let's get into the car. So this is very familiar to me, and first of all is the driving position. Yes, the seats are adjustable for your rig and height and reach, and it's all powered, yeah. So what I hear is this is an 8-way power seat, and steering is still mechanical, but the good news is you can adjust it for reach and height. All right. Steering is a very nice car-like size, and if you look at the dashboard here, look at these little honeycomb slats here for the aircon, the dashboard, the controls, and even this part is very reminiscent of the Honda Civic. Yes, and I don't know, but by a coincidence, the wheelbase of this car is also 2700 mm, which is exactly the same as the Civic. But of course, the trimmings here make it look very, very nice. You have this screen here, and you can actually see the power delivery. Somebody has started the engine, so it says here the engine is charging the battery. So according to the press conference just now, the battery itself is a 1.06 kilowatt hour battery, and so that means there is a constant charge and discharge for the car. So we have paddle shifts here, and I think this paddle shift is not so much for driving, or there's no gear change, there's only one gear, and also the next gear is what you call direct drive from the engine to the wheels. So this would probably be the regen buttons. Okay, you still get a very nice gear shift lever with the P, R, N, and D, and then there's also a B button, and this is for extra regen. So it gives you better regeneration, and when you lift off, it kind of slows down, helps to brake the car. And I like this because I really don't like those buttons and little levers to drive the car. This is something that's very familiar, and I like it. And I see here, this is a wireless charger, and they have nice rubber inserts here to keep things from sliding around. You have also Type-C and normal USB plus power socket, so you won't be wanting for anything. Yeah, so right here you have two drink holders, and you also have bottle holders in the side, and wow, that's a very, very big compartment. Is it cool? No, it's not, just a normal compartment. And let me just check. Okay, this is also not cool. No sunroof, and it's nice and black, and you can keep your sunglasses here. And in terms of the pedals, yeah, we have aluminum type pedals that look good. Instrumentation, I like. I know it's all digital, but you can see here it is a speedometer, and then, oh, there's no ref counter. Wow. This is the power range that shows you how much power you are using. Okay, so your gear position is here. Oh, there's a power mode button. Let's see. We have ECON. Then you have normal. Then you have sport. So 3 modes here. And yeah, also it's got the full Honda sensing. I can tell you have your AEB. Oh yeah, there's one more thing else. There is a hill descent control. So I don't know how many people actually use it lah. Unless you're going down a very steep slope, very muddy, you won't be using it, but it's here. But more important is all the other things that come with Honda sensing. Yeah, you have the AEB lah, lane keep lah, your dynamic cruise control, and it also has low speed follow. So the new feature for Honda sensing is the lead car departure alert. It tells you when the car in front of you is departed, and so you can start moving too. And of course, Honda has this very unique lane watch not found in other cars. When you turn the signal to turn the car left, there's a camera on the wing mirror that actually allows you to see the back of the car on the left, and that's very important in cases where there are likely to be motorbikes there. And in Malaysia, that is a very, very good feature. And here is the final luxurious feature of this car in the front, and it is the Bose speakers. So this is usually found in more expensive cars, and again, this is Honda's way of moving up market. So now it's time to go to the back. Okay, here we are in the back seat of the CR-V, and yes, earlier I said that the vehicle is bigger and wider and a little bit taller, so there is plenty of leg room. Now that seat is actually in my normal driving position, and there's a good 10 or 11 inches of knee room. And as usual, you get this hole underneath the seat, so you can put your legs under there and be very comfortable. The floor is almost flat, which I like, and the seat is in leather, of course, with the red stitching that gives it a bit of class. And if you're sitting at the back, you don't have to worry because you have aircon louvers at the back. You also have two Type-C USB ports, and at the back here, you can actually sit 3 people at a pinch. But as usual with cars of this size, 2 is nice, and you have a very nice center armrest with the cup holders. And here's another thing. The previous CR-V, you could recline the seat, but not so much. This one has a lot more. This is nice. Yeah. So this is, I think it's about 12 degrees. I'm not sure, but it is certainly very good for you to relax while somebody else drives. So it's really, really nice. I like this. Look at the rear seats. These are sort of contoured, and it actually holds you very well. Although it's made for 3, I would say 2 is good. So if you're going outstation, try not to go more than 4 people, unless you have a very, very small kid. Yes, it's made for 5, but 4 will be more comfortable. And here's another thing I want to show you about this seat. Look here. I'm going to put this seat down. So this is an adaptation of the magic seat that was in the Honda City many years ago. Look at it. So as it goes down, as it goes down, the front of the seat actually lowers itself, and that helps you to get a more or less flat surface for you to put your stuff in if you are going to IKEA, or you need to carry 500 kilos of durians, heaven forbid. Okay, you won't be doing that. But if you need to carry heavy or large stuff, you can put this down. So this is actually a 60-40 split, and you can also do this if you want for this side. Yep. So this is the versatility that comes with a SUV. Okay. So one more place to go, and that's at the rear of the vehicle. A powered boot, and here we are. So the interesting things here are you get a light, you get 2 tapao hooks if you want to call them tapao hooks, a power socket here, and a removable tonneau cover. Here you go. So this is an spring-loaded tonneau cover, and you can just put it in. So if you need to carry stuff that you don't want the interference of this, you just put the tonneau cover to one side, and there you are. So you have a very, very big space. I don't know how much in terms of liters, but it's there. And let's look at the bottom part here. Okay, that means there's no spare. What you see is a tire repair kit with a air pump. That's it. So you get a flat floor, and there you are. Look at this. It was not said, but this looks like a walk away close. Okay, we have the key. So it needs to detect the key. Let's walk away. Yay! It works! Alright, so that's a feature, and I think this CR-V has a walk-away lock. So guys, this is our quick walk around for the CR-V RS EHEV. We don't have access to the other three models, so this is what you get for the time being. Of course, when we get our chance to check out the SE or V versions, we will of course share it with you. So for the time being, just to wrap up, you can buy the SE or V immediately, and you can book it immediately through our site shop.yscongdriving.com. And also, Honda also announced for the S version or S variant, there is a, I think it's a 2,000 ringgit discount, and it's sold for 157,000 ringgit, but it's only limited to 750 units. So hurry and put your booking now. The three non-hybrid versions are available between 159,000 to 181,000 ringgit. Of course, there's a special offer I talked about. And for the RS, we don't know the price. Honda said they will announce it when they launch the car properly in the first quarter of next year. But of course, bookings are already available if you want to book it through us. Thanks very much for watching our video, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And till we meet again in the next video, bye bye.